The desert night was alive with anticipation. A soft wind stirred the sands of Egypt, whispering secrets of a glorious past. Under a canopy of 1,000,000 stars, a team of archaeologists worked tirelessly. The flickering flames of torches painted dancing shadows on the faces of these modern-day explorers. Tonight was no ordinary dig. This night held the promise of unveiling a legend. The lost tomb of Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt, seemed to be finally within reach. The air crackled with nervous energy. Every grain of sand shifted, every sigh of the wind seemed to echo the name of the legendary queen. The team had been working for months, following ancient maps and cryptic clues. The weight of history, the legacy of a dynasty pressed down on their shoulders. Tonight, they hoped, their dedication would be rewarded. The silence of the desert night was broken only by the rhythmic clang of tools against stone. Each swing of a pickaxe, each scrape of a trowel brought them closer to their prize. They were uncovering a story lost to time, a story that had captivated the imaginations of historians and dreamers for centuries. As the night deepened, so did their resolve. They knew they were on the verge of a discovery that would rewrite history. The breakthrough came not with a bang, but with a whisper. The ground-penetrating radar, a tool that had become as familiar as their own hands, sang its song of discovery. The screen flickered to life, revealing not solid rock but a void that hinted at a hidden world beneath their feet. A network of tunnels, untouched for millennia, lay waiting. Excitement rippled through the team, whispers of could it be? And finally, passed from one to another. They had been led to this spot by ancient texts, by fragments of papyrus that spoke of a secret burial chamber, a chamber fit for a queen who had captivated the ancient world with her beauty, her intellect, and her unwavering spirit. The radar images were undeniable. This was no natural formation. This was the work of skilled hands, a testament to the engineering prowess of the ancient Egyptians, a labyrinthine complex, designed to protect the eternal slumber of their last pharaoh. With renewed vigor, they began to dig. Each basket of sand removed, each stone lifted brought them closer to their goal. The air grew heavy with anticipation, thick with the dust of ages. The lost tomb of Cleopatra, a secret whispered on the wind, was about to reveal itself. The entrance, when they finally reached it, was as imposing as they had imagined. The towering stone doorway stood as a silent sentinel, guarding the secrets within. The team of explorers, a mix of seasoned archaeologists and eager researchers, approached with a mix of awe and trepidation. Each step they took was laden with the weight of history and the promise of discovery. A massive stone slab, intricately carved with hieroglyphs and images of ancient gods, sealed the passage to the tomb. The carvings told stories of deities and pharaohs, of battles and rituals, each symbol a piece of a grander narrative that had been lost to time. The slab was not just a barrier, it was a testament to the artistry and beliefs of a civilization long gone. The flickering torchlight danced across the weathered stone, revealing glimpses of fearsome guardians and protective deities. Shadows played tricks on their eyes, making the ancient carvings seem almost alive. The guardians, with their stern expressions and powerful stances, seemed to watch over the tomb, ensuring that only the worthy could pass. The weight of centuries pressed down upon them. The air was thick with the scent of age and decay, a reminder of the countless years that had passed since the tomb was last opened. Every corner of the tomb whispered of the past, of lives lived and lost, of a time when gods and pharaohs ruled the land. A hush fell over the team as they gathered before the sealed entrance. Conversations ceased, and the only sound was the soft rustling of clothing and the distant echo of their own breaths. The magnitude of the moment was not lost on them. They were standing on the brink of history, about to uncover secrets that had been buried for millennia. The moment of truth had arrived. Faces illuminated by the dim torchlight were etched with a mix of anticipation and anxiety. Each member of the team knew the significance of what they were about to do. Years of preparation, research, and excavation had led to this singular moment. The weight of their collective efforts hung in the air, almost tangible. After years of searching, of painstaking research and tireless excavation, they were about to breach the tomb of one of history's most enigmatic figures. The journey had been long and arduous, filled with challenges and setbacks. But now, standing at the threshold, all those hardships seemed to fade away, replaced by a sense of purpose and destiny. The air vibrated with a palpable energy. It was as if the very walls of the tomb were alive, resonating with the anticipation of the moment. The team could feel it in their bones, a tingling sensation that spoke of the significance of their task. This was more than just an archaeological dig, it was a journey into the heart of history itself. Slowly, carefully, they began the delicate work of removing the seal. Each movement was precise, each action calculated. The tools they used were modern, but their approach was steeped in the reverence of the ancient. They knew that one wrong move could destroy invaluable history, so they proceeded with the utmost caution. Each movement was deliberate, each action imbued with the profound respect they held for the past they were about to uncover. The team worked in unison, their efforts synchronized as if they were performing a sacred ritual. The atmosphere was thick with reverence, a silent acknowledgement of the significance of their task. The ancient Egyptians believed in the sanctity of the afterlife, and their tombs were designed to be impenetrable. These structures were not just resting places, they were fortresses, built to protect the souls of the departed from the ravages of time and the prying eyes of the living. The tombs were a testament to their beliefs, their artistry, and their understanding of eternity. But time, the great leveler, had weakened the mortar, softened the stone. The once impenetrable barriers had been eroded by the relentless march of years. What was once a fortress had become vulnerable, its defenses worn down by the passage of time. Yet even in its weakened state, the tomb retained an aura of majesty and mystery. With a groan that echoed through the chamber, the seal shifted. The sound was a low, mournful wail, as if the tomb itself was reluctant to give up its secrets. The team held their breath, their eyes fixed on the slowly moving stone. It was a moment of both triumph and trepidation, a step closer to uncovering the mysteries that lay within. Dust billowed into the night air, carrying with it the scent of time and secrets long buried. The particles danced in the torchlight, creating a shimmering veil that seemed to separate the present from the past. The team could almost feel the presence of those who had come before them, the ancient souls who had once walked these halls. A collective gasp escaped the archaeologists as they stared into the darkness beyond. The anticipation had reached its peak, and now, as the tomb lay open before them, the reality of their discovery began to sink in. They were the first to gaze upon this hidden world in centuries, the first to step into a realm that had been sealed away from the world. The tomb of Cleopatra lay open before them. The legendary queen, whose life and death had been shrouded in mystery, was now within their reach. The team stood at the threshold of a monumental discovery, one that would rewrite history and shed new light on one of the most enigmatic figures of the ancient world. Section 4. The Serpent and the Sun. The first chamber they entered was a dazzling spectacle. The walls were adorned with intricate paintings that told stories of a time long past, a civilization that revered both the serpent and the sun. Even after centuries of darkness, the vibrant colors of the wall paintings seemed to shimmer in the torchlight. The reds, blues, and golds were as vivid as the day they were painted, a testament to the skill and artistry of the ancient Egyptians. Scenes of Cleopatra's reign unfolded before their eyes. The queen, surrounded by her court, was depicted in various moments of her life, from grand ceremonies to intimate gatherings. Processions of priests bearing offerings, battles fought and won, and the daily life of the ancient Egyptians were all meticulously captured on the walls. Each scene was a window into a world that had long since vanished. Images of the queen herself, adorned in gold and lapis lazuli, stood out prominently. Her headdress, depicting a sun disk and a cobra, symbolized her divine right to rule and her connection to the gods. Her legendary beauty, captured for eternity in these paintings, was undeniable. The artist had managed to convey not just her physical appearance, but also the aura of power and grace that surrounded her. And then, they saw it. Among the artifacts and treasures, something caught their eye. On a golden sarcophagus resting on a raised platform in the center of the chamber was the unmistakable insignia of Cleopatra VII Philopator. The craftsmanship was exquisite, with every detail meticulously rendered. The serpent and the sun, symbols of her power and divinity, twined together in an intricate design. These symbols were not just decorative, they were a declaration of her status as a living goddess. The air thickened with awe and anticipation. The archaeologists knew they were standing in a place of immense historical significance. This was no ordinary tomb. The wealth and opulence on display were staggering. Gold, jewels, and artifacts of immense value filled the chamber, each piece telling a story of its own. This was the final resting place of a ruler who had challenged Rome, who had stood against the might of an empire and left an indelible mark on history. Cleopatra, who had captivated Caesar and Mark Antony, was more than just a queen. She was a strategist, a diplomat, and a woman of extraordinary intellect and charm. She had ruled with intelligence and cunning in a time of great upheaval. Her decisions had shaped the course of history, and her legacy had endured through the ages. Every inch of the chamber spoke of her power, her wealth, her undeniable presence in the annals of history. The treasures were not just material wealth, they were symbols of her reign and her influence. The archaeologists moved with reverence, their voices hushed as they documented their findings. They knew they were not just uncovering artifacts. They were piecing together the story of a remarkable woman. They were surrounded by the echoes of a bygone era, by the tangible evidence of a life lived on a grand scale. The walls seemed to whisper the secrets of the past, inviting them to listen and learn. The tangible evidence of a life lived on a grand scale was all around them. The artifacts, the paintings, the very air of the chamber spoke of a time when Cleopatra ruled with an iron will and a golden touch. And yet, amidst the splendor, a nagging question lingered. Where was Cleopatra? The queen who had defied empires, whose beauty and intellect had captivated the world, seemed to be missing from her own tomb. The search for answers had only just begun. Section 5. Whispers from the Past. The hieroglyphs, painstakingly deciphered, told a story of love, loss, and a queen's desperate gamble to preserve her legacy. Each symbol, each stroke of the chisel, was a testament to a time long past, yet still echoing in the present. They spoke of her final days, of her kingdom crumbling under the might of Rome, of her lover Mark Antony, defeated and facing certain death. The hieroglyphs painted a vivid picture of a world in turmoil, where love and power clashed in a tragic dance. The carvings on the walls were not merely decorations, they were a chronicle, a message etched in stone for future generations. They were a bridge to the past, offering glimpses into the lives of those who once walked these halls. They spoke of a secret passage, a hidden escape route that would lead Cleopatra to a final resting place, a place where her enemies could never find her. This passage was more than just a physical route, it was a symbol of hope and defiance, a place where she could lie in peace beside her beloved Antony. The tomb was designed to be a sanctuary, a haven where their love could endure beyond the reach of time and conflict. The hieroglyphs hinted at a love so powerful, so absolute, that it transcended even death. It was a love that defied the boundaries of life, a love that sought to be eternal. The archaeologists pored over the inscriptions, their fingers tracing the ancient symbols, their minds struggling to grasp the full import of what they were reading. Each discovery brought them closer to understanding the depth of Cleopatra's story. The tomb, they realized, was not just a repository of treasure and art, it was a testament to a love story for the ages. The artifacts and treasures were not merely possessions. They were pieces of a larger narrative, fragments of a grand tale, a love story that had shaped the destiny of nations. Cleopatra and Antony's love was not just a personal affair, it was a force that influenced the course of history, altering the fate of empires. And yet the mystery remained. The hieroglyphs, while revealing much, also held secrets that eluded even the most skilled archaeologists. The sarcophagus, though bearing her insignia, was empty. The queen was gone. Had she escaped? The empty sarcophagus posed more questions than answers, leaving the archaeologists to ponder the fate of the legendary queen. Had her body been moved? Her final resting place lost to the ravages of time? The possibility of her remains being relocated added another layer of intrigue to the already complex narrative. The answers, they knew, lay deeper within the tomb. The archaeologists were determined to uncover the truth, to follow the whispers from the past and reveal the secrets that had been buried for millennia.